Chapter 7. Reading Yuji's Palm. Yuji's straight, long, salt and pepper hair covers his ears. That day he must have surely shampooed his hair. With his smiling face and bright, shining appearance, he resembled some strange divine figure. He was looking so good, dangerously attractive with dreamy eyes, seemingly fixed on infinity, lost in some unknown place. The more I looked at him, the better I liked him. He had beautifully shaped hands and feet. Suddenly, looking into my eyes, he laughed and said, "Do you know why I have kept my hair so long?" I was taken back, and it took some moments to come around. With wonder, I answered, "No, I don't have any idea." When he moved his hair from the ears, two unnaturally large ears came into my view, similar to the ears seen in statues of Buddha. To cover both ears, I have kept the hair long. As it is, people draw different conclusions about me, and if they see these 2 ears, their blind beliefs will consolidate further. I did not say anything to that. Slowly, I also began to feel that the way he talked, his demeanor, appearance, philosophy, the signs on his physical body, the lines on his palms, his ears, and his eyes seemed to express without doubt a divine personality. On that day, especially, Yuji's appearance and the posture of his limbs brought to mind repeatedly the various mudras of Lord Vishnu. When he stands in his normal posture, the palms of his hands completely face backwards, as if something has turned his hands from his elbow towards his body. Yuji strongly dismisses all these views and says, every man is nature's unique creation. Then, devotion and reverence towards him increase more and more. I wondered to myself, if this feeling worked inside a human being all the time, how would his life be? On this earth, no man's importance and ability can be more than that of any other ordinary person in any way. Excessive pride makes man believe that in the world of living beings, he has been created for some grander purpose. This arrogance will be the first step towards an extraordinary disorder and will lead man to engage himself in super-destructive activities. Whatever science has done or not done, it has made it clear to us that compared to the vastness of the cosmos, our abode, this planet, is the smallest of small, a minuscule dot. On this earth, since millions of years, billions and billions of creatures have taken birth and died. So, for every life, what greater or grander purpose can there be? Apart from this basic identity, is it possible for knowledge to have any other fundamental objective? Thoughts are only thoughts. Without thinking, how will human life work? Thinking about that and with mixed emotions, I was lost somewhere. In the morning, soon after the coffee session, Julie and Tanuja presented themselves. Yuji asked me, "Guha, since yesterday, all are talking about something new. Only I'm kept in the dark." I was surprised and asked, "What news is that?" I did not know anything. Yuji said forcefully, "All are saying that Guha knows palm reading. So can you read my palm once?" I was relieved and told him, "Oh, that I can definitely do. But do you believe in all this?" "I don't believe in astrology or palmistry that much. In my younger days, I had read Saint Germain and Cairo's books and learned all this. I still remember some things even now. Whatever is in the books, I can relate to. Other than that, I do not have any knowledge or opinion. Yuji looked at my face and said, "All my life, this one thing has left me surprised. So many strange incidents have taken place due to which I cannot say with certainty that there is nothing to this. When I was 12 or 14 years old, my grandfather took me to a famous astrologer in Madras. His prophecies for my future tallied word for word with what came to pass. Though whatever prophecies he made for my grandfather, none of them came true. He had studied my horoscope and predicted much earlier that when I reach 49 years of age, there would be an extraordinary transformation, and in reality that happened. My death took place. Therefore, in the truth of palmistry and astrology, my opinions are still suspended. I remembered my own experience in astrology. I had left my home and was leading a dangerous life. Every moment and everywhere, death and imprisonment followed me like a shadow. With a dream of providing food, clothing, and shelter to millions of poor and destitute countrymen, I plunged into revolutionary activities. Day by day, half hungry, with hardly any rest in this weak and suffering body, only the two eyes were shining with the hope of turning the 70s into a decade of truth and freedom. Somehow the heart was barely able to keep the body functioning. This news reached my parents, and they were devastated. There was no end to their dreadful thoughts. At such a time, a strange patient came to my father's clinic. My father looked at his face and diagnosed his illness. This man told my father, "Just as you have surprising ability in diagnosis, I have great ability in one subject, and that is astrology." My father, though a long-time communist, still, like most Bengalis, had great reverence for Sri Ramakrishna and also a weakness for astrology. He became quite excited and immediately drove everyone out from his chamber. The man sat with his eyes closed for some time and then said, "You are very worried about your son, who was born in 1953. He is passing through a bad time now, but there is no need to fear. His good time is coming. Everything will be all right." My father had hidden the fact that I had joined a banned political party and had left home, and apart from that, my birth certificate shows the year of birth as 1954. Father was very surprised, but he concealed his excitement. Later on, when the future predictions came true, my father invited him and his family to our house, and my mother took care of him like her own brother. He became a member of our family. We subsequently found many other proofs of his special talent. All these events greatly inspired me, and after that, I began reading these books and learned palmistry myself. Yuji put the lights on and spread out both his palms before me. Julie and Tanuja, like me, were also leaning over, looking at his open palms. Pink-colored soft palms, having very beautiful lines, captured my mind in such a powerful way that all the nearby places, the earth, and every other object disappeared from my consciousness. Ascending from the bottom of the palm, close to the wrist, a strong line about 3/4 to the left of the moon mount, dividing Saturn into two halves, goes from the center in such a way as though the goddess of destiny has ordered Vishwakarma, Hindu god of architecture himself, to create the line. Parallel with this line of fate, another line touches the sun line and then stands alone, anonymous. Many more lines go upwards from the lifeline to different fingers. I truly felt that day that some divine sculptor, as per the order of the Almighty, had etched the lines of this palm. One word to describe that hand: beautiful. Some time passed in this manner. Such was the silence that it felt as if one could hear even the sound of a hair falling. I ended the silence by declaring that until today I had never seen such a hand in my entire life. Somebody in the room told me that it is said that Lord Buddha had such beautiful lines on his hand. I cannot give any opinion on this, as I have never seen Lord Buddha's hand, I replied. Yuji looked at everyone and nodded, as though he agreed on this point. All the rest of them started laughing. Now, I started relating my findings and announced, "Your headline is very strong, and at the end there is a clear star. This means in the mental world an explosion has occurred. Your headline has crossed the star, and because of this you were able to keep the explosion in check and lessen the impact on your psychological world. Also, the strong Mercury line saved you from going insane. Lines arising from Jupiter and Mars prove that an inner primordial creative force is manifesting in your awareness. You have boundless luck and incomparable success." I took Yuji's 2 palms in my own and concentrated deeply to sense where the similarity and difference lay. Suddenly, I felt as though a strange heat was emanating from his hands. I fully experienced the warmth. I grasped that a faint, warm current was flowing through my hands and into my heart. In my life, many times I had experienced electric shocks. This felt somewhat like that, but very gradual. A pleasant tremor, not uncomfortable. I was looking at Yuji's face, surprised. Tanuja and Julie asked me what had happened. Why was I staring at his face like that? Without replying to them, I directly asked Yuji, "What are you doing? Why am I experiencing this?" I felt as if a dose of some intoxicant has been injected into my arteries. Gradually, my mouth, throat, windpipe, esophagus became very dry, just like the dryness you feel after taking marijuana or bhang, a beverage made with cannabis in India. I had never felt like this in my life before. My eyes were drooping, and I was feeling very sleepy. This was happening in the morning, when usually I feel most awake and alert. Yuji evaded my question, but he surprised me by saying, "Drink a glass of water and study my palm lines carefully and tell me if I will get money." I told him that Goddess Lakshmi herself is following him in case he needs anything. After this, the hand-reading session ended. I was completely alert. Suppressed feelings of excitement were shaking me intermittently. My flow of thoughts, concepts, motivation for work, and relationships became directionless. However much I tried to avoid thinking of this experience and return to my normal self, the more it seems to gain a place of importance in my thoughts. All thought flows changed course. Just when I had agreed to everything that he said and accepted that there is nothing supernatural, that all these feelings are a result of my mind and my longings, that they create a certain experience in me and the foundation of that belief is strengthened, suddenly, why then did I have such an experience? Maybe unknowingly I had harbored a mindset for something like spiritual transmission. I could not understand what is truth and reality. Just when I started thinking my concepts about spirituality and meditation were illusory, and with the help of Yuji's comments and point of view, I was beginning to see the light of reality. This incident today took me back to the same darkness from where I started my journey. Just when I began to think that I am able to understand what Yuji is saying, an incident occurs which makes my understanding look like child's play. Deep frustration gave birth to little emptiness in a strange way. When the thoughts touch this emptiness, then everything seems to be false. Only my body and its relationship to its surroundings is one inseparable existence, the only truth. Everything else is an illusion. Colorful dream images and thoughts are devoid of any relationship with nature. They are the illusion of the mind. Whenever I bring myself back to the world of usual thoughts, my center, as the ego tries to link up all incidents and tries to create an inference, as a result, my faith gets a solid foundation along with my ego. In other words, it wants to turn the belief structure into something infinite, and along with that, even the self. This state of duality made me remember the story of the swan with two heads. One head had consumed poison to punish the other head, and the end result was the death of both. It is only death that can end the state of duality. This realm of duality is extremely painful. It is only the desire to understand, the desire to know, that is keeping the I in me alive. Without the existence of this, there may not be any pleasurable satisfaction, and pain is connected very intimately with this. The apparent understanding of this fact is not producing any result in me either. Taking a deep breath, I interrupted my flow of thoughts. End of chapter 7.